Hi there. Today I want to talk to you about advertising, particularly advertising on Facebook or Meta versus advertising on LinkedIn for B2B. So, historically, we've known that Meta is a comparatively cheap platform for advertising, whereas LinkedIn is a very expensive platform. However, we're going to talk more about that. But before that, what this video is going to cover is going to cover the cost side of things. It's going to cover engagement. It's going to cover pros and cons of both channels and how to use them. So, as I was saying earlier, by the way, we're going to use actual data from a couple of running campaigns to talk about this stuff. But the historically, we've known LinkedIn to be an expensive platform, mainly because advertising is made or is charged in a metric called CPM, which is cost per mille, which is basically the amount of money you pay to show your impressions or to show your content to 1,000 people. So Facebook at one point had as cheap CPMs as $2-3, right? And that's why it gained so much momentum, because it was cheap to advertise it on. Whereas a CPM on something like a Google campaign, which is very bottom of funnel, can go all the way up to $500-600 to show to 1,000 people. So, particularly in this whole conversation is going to be from a B2B lens. So, let's look at these two campaigns that we've currently got running. So, you see, this is a Facebook campaign and this is a LinkedIn campaign. Let's look at the aggregate data first. So, combined both of these campaigns, they're relatively young campaigns with small budgets. They've generated 13K in impressions, 411 clicks. Amount spent is about $600. But that's not what matters. What really matters is this. If you talk about cost side of things, they're both costing us relatively the same amount of money now, and that's basically the point I want to make in this video, is that linkedin is no longer the expensive platform, and compared to Facebook, both the cost is pretty much the same for B2B. If you look at the impressions in the Facebook ad campaign, we've got 6,500, and in LinkedIn we've got 6,600, right? Whereas the cost or the money spent on the Facebook campaign is $276, and it's 326 on LinkedIn for pretty much the same amount of impressions. I think, I don't recall exactly, but the CPM for both is in high 40s, right? So, but the difference here is the Facebook campaign has got 377 clicks for that amount of impressions, whereas LinkedIn has got 34. However, having said that, this is a bit of an anomaly. B2B advertising doesn't get a click-through rate of 5.7%. This is like e-com metrics. This creative is performing really well, and that is why we're getting so many clicks. Whereas LinkedIn campaign has got a 0.5% click-through rate, which is pretty much around what we see for typical B2B accounts that we look into. Unless someone's doing a super good creative, this obviously can improve. We normally aim for a minimum of 1%. 1% for us is bad, but it's still something that we can let run. But a 0.5% campaign, this needs to be cut pretty soon. So even if it was 1%, so we would have had double the amount of clicks. It would still be about 70 clicks compared to this, right? However, again, I digress. The clicks can, or the engagement can improve with the creative. The main thing is it's costing you almost the same amount of money to run ads on both the platforms. There is a engagement difference. There's a slight cost difference. So now I think it's time to compare them both, in terms of what we've seen now. So the what what small businesses or small B2B businesses were always told is that you shouldn't have LinkedIn as a top of funnel channel because it's expensive to advertise on LinkedIn. LinkedIn should only be used as a retargeting channel. Whereas this data clearly shows you that the cost is almost the same if you advertise on some other channel as well, right? So, but the point is, on LinkedIn, if you're B2B, you know that the money that you're paying is actually going to your audience. because you're targeting by job titles, you're targeting by industries, you're targeting by company size. So even if they're clicking less, the people that it's seeing your ad are for sure the people you want to be reaching. Excuse me. Whereas on Facebook, there's a lot of ad spend waste, right? And even if those good click-through rates might be coming from people who we don't even want to talk to or who are not a good fit for us, right? Whereas those 34 clicks on LinkedIn, we know for sure those 34 clicks came from the people that we want to talk about. So they hold a lot more value. So the point I'm trying to make here is, if you want to start a top of funnel campaign and you are looking between the two channels and you've got only enough budget that you can spend on one channel, and you're a B2B company, I would still say go for LinkedIn. Because and another thing is, not everything is measured in clicks. So here we're talking about the clicks, right? But these campaigns, we're not really worried about click-through rates that much, because these are brand campaigns at the same time as well. Because what they are targeting is out of market buyers. These are not necessarily performance campaigns. These are going to be running in the background constantly, so our target market keeps getting our message, keeps getting our message, keeps getting our message. The point is to make memory structures. The point is to be top of mind when they enter the market to buy. And for that, they don't necessarily have to click on it right now. They just have to remember us as a company and what we do, right? And if you're trying to achieve that, again, I would say LinkedIn is a better choice, because as a B2B company, you have much less ad spend waste and you have a lot more targeting options. And yeah, it's just better bang for your buck. So I hope this helps. If you're a startup founder, a young marketer trying to get started on your paid media journey, I hope this provides you some perspective. And if you have any further questions, any comments, please do feel free to reach out. I'm always more than happy to help. Have a good one.